What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best vendor weapon rolls available for sale this week, which is July 11th to the 18th. Now, firstly, guys, if we could get to 3,765.2 likes, that would be amazing. I'm just messing with you. Let's get started on the vendor rolls with the two universal vendors, beginning with our good friend, the Crucible Quartermaster. Now, firstly, there's a pretty good B29 Party Favor Pulse Rifle for sale. This is a very good archetype. It's the Hoxa archetype, very competitive in PvP. Firstly, we've got a great sight with the Sure Shot IS. It's going to increase your stability and reload by a little bit, and also going to add some extra aim assist. After that, Life Support is a totally decent perk. Secret Round, some people like, I hate. But then we have Braced Frame. I actually have a party favor with Braced Frame from an Xbox character, and I was playing Iron Banner with it, and although it does lower it to 18 rounds, it was actually pretty decent. It becomes a bloody laser beam. You can only kill one guy at a time, then you have to reload, but it's a laser beam for that one kill, that's for darn sure. And lastly, Rangefinder increases the range when you aim down sights. Perfectly acceptable perk. After that, we have a very unique role. This is something you don't see very often, but it's a hero formula trying to pretend it's a Fatebringer. So, the hero formula is a really unique scout rifle. It shoots even faster than the Mida multi-tool. It's the fastest firing scout rifle archetype, and this one particularly has some decent sights. The ranged lens actually increases your stability and it increases your range. After that, you've got Take a Knee, which is not that great, but Outlaw is very, very good. When you get a precision kill, you're going to reload super, super fast. And then Explosive Rounds. Explosive Rounds is the best perk you're looking for a PvE scout rifle. It's going to spread out the damage. It's going to let you damage multiple enemies at the same time and stagger them. It's just fantastic. And then lastly, Firefly. When you kill an enemy with a headshot or precision damage, it's going to explode, damaging enemies nearby, which is good for kind of the same reasons Explosive Rounds is good. So Outlaw, Explosive Rounds, and Firefly. Those are the three perks that makes the Fatebringer one of the best PvE, arguably the best PvE hand cannon in the game. And they're all present, and you can use them all at the same time with this scout rifle. Now, yes, you're going to be doing less damage per shot, but it has a 19 round magazine and shoots a lot faster. Don't be fooled, this is a serious PvE weapon. Obviously, I think the Fatebringer would be better, but if you don't have that and you want a decent PvE primary, definitely consider picking this up. Moving on from there, it's sad news, guys. The Cult of the Curtain Call, hashtag Cult of the Curtain Call, has come to an end. This is the first week, no joke, since the Age of Triumph came out, that the Curtain Call shotgun is not worth buying. It's got some okay perks with Secret Round and Performance Bonus, but small bore just isn't good enough. If this was, something like Rifled Barrel, this would be exceptional, but small bore is just pretty lackluster. So, it's a sad day to see that end. But we've got to move on to the next universal vendor, which is of course the Vanguard Quartermaster. First thing I would recommend taking a look at is this Angel's Advocate Scout Rifle. Same damage archetype as the Mida multi-tool, which is one of the best PvP damage archetypes for scout rifles. Can kill in 4 headshots, but shoots even faster than something like the Vision, which also kills in 4 headshots, so it's very, very competitive. Comes with some decent sights, and then it comes with Outlaw, very good perk as we've discussed. Brace Frame, it does again lower that magazine, but lowering the magazine when you have Outlaw in the background isn't that bad, and that's even combined further with Return to Sender, which gives you a chance to get bonus magazine ammunition. So Brace Frame makes this thing a bloody laser beam. It's in a fantastic damage archetype, and the one downside caused by Brace Frame is made up for by 2 different perks. This is undoubtedly a very solid roll. Moving on, we've got a pretty darn good Asterisk fusion rifle. We've got, firstly, Life Support, which is actually, surprisingly good with fusion rifles specifically, because you often take damage when you're charging them up, getting ready to shoot an opponent. Then we've got Knee Pads, which is just overall a good perk. Then we've got Small Bore, increases the range and increases the stability, which are the two things you want to increase with a fusion rifle, and this does both of that. And then lastly, rangefinder, which is just going to increase your range when you aim down sights. Great with fusion rifles. So all around, if you like those fast charging fusion rifles, this is definitely a solid roll. And then lastly, we have a very good PvP roll on this Disassembly Required rocket launcher. We've got a decent launch with countermass, adding some velocity, taking away a little bit of blast radius. Grenadier is actually pretty solid with rocket launchers because, you know, especially actually if you want to use this in PvE, you get so many kills, you get your grenades back very quickly. But for PvP, we've got firstly heavy payload, negating the effect of countermass and giving you more blast radius. You know, amazing. And then tracking, which is arguably the best perk you're looking for a PvP rocket launcher. And it's got 2 rounds in a magazine. So this, if you want a legendary rocket launcher to use in PvP, this has got pretty much everything you're looking for. Like, I can't really see a downside with this weapon, so definitely consider picking that up if you're in the market for it. But moving on from there, let's check out the faction vendors. Starting us off, we have good old Dead Orbit. First thing we're going to look at is this Extremophile 011 auto rifle. This isn't necessarily a god roll, but it's very, very solid. Got the Sure Shot IS sight, again, increases that stability and reload, getting more aim assist. After that, we've got high caliber rounds, which is a fantastic auto rifle perk. It's going to cause your opponents to flinch more when you shoot them and really give you the upper hand in those closer range gunfights. Like, you need you to be hitting and your opponent to be missing to win gunfights with auto rifles. And high caliber rounds is probably the best perk in the game for doing that. So very, very good. And then after that, small bore. Take a magazine hit, but you're at 37, you can definitely do that. You get more range and more stability. And then lastly, you have Hidden Hand, increases the aim assist. Not the best perk, but totally acceptable. So you've got a very, very good sight. You've got high caliber rounds, which is one of the best perks you can get on an auto rifle, period. And then you've got small bore with his, which is just solid. So again, this isn't a god roll, but this is incredibly solid, and I definitely want to shout it out. Moving on from there, we've got a very, very good Bitter Edge sniper rifle. Always be checking this sniper rifle out. It's extremely powerful because it has one of the best aim assist stats in the entire game. Like, no joke, if you go to the entire history of Destiny's sniper rifles, this is like number 2 for legendary sniper rifles ever in terms of aim assist. We've got a great sight with the ambush sight, low zoom sight, again, one of the best sights you can get, period, on a sniper. Quick draw, one of the best perks you can get, period, on a sniper rifle. Gonna let you switch this weapon faster and get a shot off faster. And then we've got Mulligan. Mulligan, it doesn't sound that amazing, but it's become a lot better in this current special ammo economy where, you know, ammo is so scarce, you really want something like Mulligan that if you do miss, you get that round back and then you can hopefully get a kill with it at a later time. So Mulligan's actually pretty decent now. And then Unflinching, which is just one of the best perks, period, on sniper rifles, gonna help you win gunfights. It makes it so that you flinch less when being shot at. And their Bitter Edge has such good aim assist, like, honestly, it's unbelievable that you don't need something like Hidden Hand for this last perk slot. And then Unflinching is honestly better than Hidden Hand because Hidden Hand is just overkill with the Bitter Edge. Alright, it's time to move on from there to the next faction vendor, which is Future War Cult. Unfortunately, really only one weapon worth looking at this week, and that is the hand cannon, the Whale. Not necessarily a god roll, but actually just incredibly solid. So we've got some decent sights, we've got explosive rounds. As I explained before, one of the best perks, period, for PvE. If you're using a hand cannon in PvE and you're not using explosive rounds, you're doing it wrong. You need explosive rounds for PvE. And funny enough, explosive rounds is actually quite effective in PvP as well, because half of the damage is converted into explosive damage, and that explosive damage isn't affected whatsoever, I should say, by range. So you can shoot people from across the map, and this Whale with explosive rounds is going to be doing more damage than an IS Luna or a Palindrome, and I'm dead serious. And this is also combined with Hammer Forged. Not many hand cannons in the entire game can get something like Hammer Forged and explosive rounds. They usually come in the same perk slot and you have to choose one or the other. This gets both, and that's extremely powerful, make no mistake. Then of course Hidden Hand ending everything off is just totally acceptable. Not the best thing you can get, but again, solid. Moving on from there, we have our last but certainly not least, faction vendor with New Monarchy. Firstly, we've got a pretty good deposition sniper rifle. We've got a great sight with short gaze, low zoom, one of the best you can get in the entire game. And then we've got lightweight and skip rounds are both okay, but then we've got Clown Cartridge. This is overall a pretty decent perk. You can reload and go up to 5 rounds in a magazine instead of 4, which is obviously pretty effective with a sniper. And then the last perk is Unflinching. As we went over before, it's a fantastic perk. So this deposition is, I think it's not as good as that Bitter Edge. If you have access to that Bitter Edge, I'd get that instead. But if you're pledged to New Monarchy, this deposition is doing a pretty solid job of just being a good roll. And lastly, this isn't a, I don't even know where you'd use this, but this would be fun. Like, we're wrapping up Destiny here. I gotta call out some of the fun rolls, and this First Citizen machine gun is definitely doing that. Firstly, you have smart drift control, actually making this weapon somewhat controllable because it is a fast shooting machine gun. The rate of fire is maxed out, and this gives it a decent amount of stability. After that, extended mag. So 77 rounds already, just naturally, and then on top of that, extended mag. This thing is going to go close to, if not more, or hitting 100 rounds in a magazine. And then after that, you have perfect balance. So perfect balance plus smart drift control is going to actually make this thing reasonably controllable. And then lastly, because why not, rangefinder. If you want like 100 rounds of the magazine of just pure machine gun chaos, and you're running around like with a Titan with rune wings with unlimited heavy ammo, pick this up because it's definitely going to be fun to use in strikes and so on. And so guys, that is it for this week's best vendor rolls. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative. Now if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny and Destiny 2 content, be sure to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.